before someone buys a car, they need to make sure that that car fits the number of people in the car that they need.
So the real question is this: how would an entrepreneur like us, who literally start from nothing or has limited resources and yet still wants to build an empire, join Ashraf as he answers this big question so you can apply it too? Welcome to Focus on Winning.
So Joshua, I love all of the method about SEO that you mentioned about, but there is one method that is new to me, which is press release. And I actually never heard of that. So what is press release?
Yeah, so press release. So for instance, we changed our name a few years ago, and we wanted to make sure people were aware of that. So there are websites that will publish press releases. So we wrote a whole press release basically talking about that we're changing our name, what it was changing from, what it was changing to, and how long we've been in business, some services we offer, and all that type of stuff. There's great resources online of, if someone's looking to write a press release. There's also a lot of sources that will write them for you. You just fill out sort of a questionnaire type form and they will write them for you. But it's, with that, so what happens is we submit that press release to a press release like distribution company. And then that distribution company turns around and sends it to a lot of big news companies. And then those news providers have the option to publish it or not publish it. And so we've been published in Yahoo Finance like 2 or 3 times for stuff, which is a huge one. And so, exactly. And so like we've had content published on Yahoo Finance. We've had content published on like ABC News and a handful of other ones. And so that's a great, thing to have content from and backlinks and have that. And so that's the type of stuff I'm talking about with press releases. I talk about Yahoo Finance or ABC News, and you think about there's a lot of people who are going on Yahoo Finance and reading stories. And if they're reading a story about a similar topic and your press release is in the suggested articles, sidebar, they might click on you. And so not only is it getting you backlinks, but it might also be getting you some traffic, if it's someone who ends up seeing that. And so, and also, Yahoo Finance or these other sites are very, very large, and they're going to show up pretty high in search rankings. So your site might not show up first, but the press release you did may show up. And so someone may go to the press release, read the press release, then click the link to go to your website. And so, it's sort of this, it's not direct traffic, but again, they're hitting your website. That's what's important.
So it's all about advertising, right?
Yep. Yeah, it definitely, the press release aspect definitely sits on the border of SEO and sort of the marketing advertising element. It's definitely sort of straddles the line there a little bit.
So imagine that they have applied everything that we have shared, everything that we have talked about, like SEO, how to avoid getting penalized by Google, and all kind of stuff. So they have launched the website, right? Imagine they have launched the website and their website has appeared on the first page. So now they are getting leads, they are getting viewers, they are getting clicks many times. So how do we turn that leads, that viewers into buyers, right? Because we don't just want people to read our website. We want to make them as a customer, right? We want to convert viewers to customers. So how do we do that?
So one of the big things that a lot of people always say is the money's in the list. And so this is referring to email list, something that we are terrible at and getting better at. We're great for, this is one of those things where our website always has problems. Like I'm talking about, we were talking about the blogging aspect. Our website, we don't do scheduling because that part of our site's actually broken. We broke it. And we just said, forget it. We're not going to fix it. If this was a client's website, we would have already fixed it, but it's our website. So we're just meh. No, but talking specifically on the, how do you take someone who's just window shopping, they're just browsing around your website. How do you take them from someone who's just looking around your site to someone who's actually, handing you money?
Wow.
And so for that, it's really about what we often refer to as like the buyer's journey. So before someone buys a car, they need to make sure that that car fits the number of people in the car that they need. They need to make sure that the car, if they need to tow a boat or a trailer, they're not going to buy a little tiny, sports car. That's not going to tow a boat very well. And so they need to make sure that they're buying the right vehicle for them and they're buying the right product or service. And so, again, this goes back to your content being clear. If you're a construction company and you just say, yeah, we build things. It's like, okay, well, what do you build? Oh, well, we're a roofing contractor. Okay, well, that's a totally different thing right now because I was looking for someone to remodel my bathroom and you're a roofing contractor. So you're obviously not going to, I'm not going to hire you. And so being clear on your content is super big, but, we're getting into, I mentioned, the money's in the list. And so getting back on topic here, collecting emails is huge. If you have an email list of 5,000 potential customers and you send out an email that says, hey, we know we're slow right now, and we send out an email that says, hey, for anybody who signs a contract or buys our product in the next, 14 days, we'll give you 10% off. If you have a company and you're, slow, giving 10% off is much more beneficial to actually have a sale than just sit around and do nothing all day. And so, but how do you get those 5,000 potential customers in an email list? So this is done typically through what's called like a lead gen. And so having on those blog posts at the bottom, having some sort of a call to action with an email fill out form that someone can fill out their email in that form at the bottom and download, a PDF. And so for us, we have a page that's actually not live yet. It should be live either today or tomorrow. 95visual.com/plan. And we have 4 different PDFs that will be posted on that page. It's our 10 websites, 10 things you need to know before building a website. We have content planner, how to write a bio, and there's another one. I can't remember what the 4th one is. But we have 4 of them. We have a lot of our business is very packet based. We have a lot of these PDFs that we have that we take clients through. And so we've got actually 12 different PDFs in total. And so, but we offer those PDFs as a download, and that URL I just mentioned will be live later tomorrow. But we offer those PDFs as a download in exchange for an email address. We know that these are potential customers. Now, I've got an email list of, X number of people that I can email out to. And, I email out, I would say about 80% of the emails that I send out to that list are, hey, here's a free service that does, XYZ, or here's a great thing that you should be doing, or here's something you should be thinking about. And I just continue to add value to that list because that client or that prospect may not be ready to, hire us right now. But if I continue to show them that we add value and what we do and the reason to hire us, 6 months from now, they may be ready to hire us. Where if I didn't have that email form on my website, they would have left and I would never have their email address and they may never have thought about us again. But I've sent them emails, once a month over a course of 6 months. So it's 6 emails. And now they're thinking about us every month and they go, yeah, I need to do my website. I know. And they hire us. And so, again, like I said, the money's in the list. If you have an email list, it really helps. Businesses that have, all of a sudden they're like crazy busy and they have, they're working 12-hour days and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later they have no business. That type of stuff can be leveled out, partly through marketing and email marketing.
I love that quote. Money is in the list. I might put that somewhere after this.
Yeah, it's a huge, I did not coin that term. It's a marketing thing that a lot of marketers say.
For the listeners, what is your lead magnet? When people view your website, what is something that is valuable enough to give in an exchange for their email? That is something that you have to consider about. You do not have to worry about how many sales you have when people view your websites, okay? Because if you offer them something valuable in an exchange for the email, you can sell them later on. So what you have to focus on is focus on giving value.
Yep.
And then we have to consistently give emails, maybe like 6 months. You said 6 months, right? Until they become our buyers.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a
and
long process. Uh-huh.
it is, but that those emails that you're sending them should be educational. It should be stuff that, we have a client right now that leases semi trucks, and they're doing some emails that are, 2 things you need to know before leasing a truck with us, or, and so they're going through and doing these types of things, and they are, instead of being on a 1 hour phone call with someone and walking them through all these different questions that person might have, they're actually literally sending them those questions and the answers to those questions on a regular basis. And so that way that customer finally goes, okay, anybody has objectives, to buying anything. Anyone has, reasons that they're not going to buy something, right? And so if you can debunk all of those reasons through those emails over the course of 6 months, then someone's like, I have no reason not to buy. And now it's just a matter of, where do I sign up? Where do I send my money? That type of thing. And so, if you can give them, and this is also goes back to knowing who your customer is. If you know who your customer is, and you know the struggles that they face, and you know the reasons why they don't buy your product, like, for us, the 2 big things that we hear all the time is, hey, I could do it myself cheaper. Which, yeah, absolutely. If you hire us, we definitely have a specific price point. We don't go below that. I will say sites like Squarespace are definitely considerably cheaper than we are, but we walk through a process. We're a custom design shop. There's very specific things in how we do things. And the business owner is not spending 100+ hours building the website. We're building the website for them. And so we're writing the content. We're doing all of that. We're doing the heavy lifting. And so it's just like, I relate it oftentimes to, like doing an oil change. You can do an oil change in a vehicle yourself. Most people opt not to. Take it to a mechanic and just have the mechanic do it. And so, it's one of those things where, what are the benefits in hiring, or buying the product from your business? What are the benefits, and what are you missing out on if you don't? We have companies who we talk with, and we're like, cool, your website, we talked earlier briefly about search engine optimization, and let's say you sell red widgets and you sell blue widgets, and you have a whole entire page about blue widgets that you sell, but you never mention on your website you sell this red widget. You're not going to rank for that product if it's not on your website and you don't talk about it. And so that's one of the things companies will say, we don't rank for this industry term. And it's like, well, you don't have any content about it. You're never going to rank for it. And so you need to have content about what you do.
So one thing that I want to highlight from what you were saying is that money is in the list. In order to have a list, you have to need an opt-in page, so that when you have an opt-in page, you can turn your viewer into subscriber. when they subscribe to your newsletter, you can send email over and over again, but you also have to remember that you have to send email purposely to educate, okay? Not just to sell things, but you have to educate them, give value to them, because you want to let them know that you are a trusted person. You want to let them see you as an authority, right? So after you have sent email, after you have educated them, you can then sell them something, but purposely to educate them further, okay? You don't just sell things for the sake of selling things. You have to sell things in order to educate them in a higher level. So Joshua, let's wrap up our conversation today. So
Yeah.
what is the one thing that our listeners can do today after listening to our chat?
I think we've given them a huge amount of information and a lot of stuff. But I think the biggest thing is, if you don't have a website currently, your sort of takeaway would be start a website. You can use Squarespace, Wix, Weebly. There's a handful of other ones out there. Google has Google Sites Project now. I would say start a website over the next few days. Start that and get that up and running. If you have a website and it's already up and running, I would say sit down and write out the top 5 or 10 questions that you're often asked about your business, and then go into a detailed explanation on each one of those and post those as blog posts over the next few months. That way, when someone is Google searching, those questions and trying to figure out those elements, they end up coming back to your website. And so, if, for my business, why are websites so expensive, to have an agency do it? If they Google search that and there's a website, a whole page, which there's not, we should probably do this. If there's a whole page on my website dedicated to that, they hit my website, then they leave, they come back, they leave, they come back. They keep going to my website because they keep Google searching things and they keep landing on my site. They're like, okay, this is the right company. I need to just call them. And so again, reiterating that. So if you don't have a website, start a website. If you do have a website, create content, create unique content that speaks to your customer.
Start making website and start making content. Joshua, share with us how we can find more about you and how to connect with you.
Yeah. So I'm on LinkedIn, Joshua Maddux. And then business-wise, I've got, 95 Visual. So that's the number 9, the number 5 Visual. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but 95visual.com. And then those PDFs that I referenced, we'll have 95visual.com/plan. We'll have that page up and running later today or tomorrow. We were just finalizing some little tweaks that we wanted to get done on that. So that'll be there. And there's a few resources, like I said, again, that I think are great for business owners, to be able to have.
For the listeners, go check out 95visual.com and connect with Joshua on LinkedIn, on Facebook. So, yeah. Joshua, thank you for sharing your ideas and insights with us. Really happy to have you here. And for the listeners, I'll catch you another time.
Hey, thank you for listening. We hope you can implement everything from this episode. And would you like to know more about business strategies and life hacks that you can apply right now? If so, subscribe to this podcast so you can become the best you.